What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Tau Halving. So this one's a super interesting video for me because from all of the cryptocurrencies that I currently hold, there are a handful that are outperforming the market, and Tau is one of them. Now, Tau is supposed to be trading at least 3 to 4x where it is right now as a base level, not even as a pump. So let's have a look at Tau, the Tau Halving, and where I think Tau is going to go in the next few months. Now, as far as charts are concerned, Tau has been one of the stronger ones. And if you look at the manipulation candle here, if you actually take a look at the bottom of this green yellow box, Tau's actually been holding up very, very well compared to market conditions. Okay, and this is the weekly chart. And when we go to the daily chart or the 2-day chart, you start to see exactly what I mean by Tau's strength as it goes into halving. Having said that, we did come out of the horizontal downtrend on the daily, and of course, that is now nearly where the moving average sits, and potentially could be a resistance on the daily, and as it's overbought, right? On the 2-day, it's also climbing up pretty well. RSI at 61.45. So there's still a long way to go. Now, the weekly chart here, the weekly RSI has completely reset for 2026, and in my opinion, this is when we're likely to see the best gains of Bittensor Tau. In addition to that, the Tau halving, in my opinion, is going to be an event that is always sell the news. So what you need to do with Tau is take a longer term position in terms of where you're likely to have the least failure and the maximum gains over time. So it is really, for me, if we're going to see a $4,000, $3,000, $2,000 Tau and one day $50,000, $100,000 Tau, long way away, but stranger things have happened. If you want to see that, then you really need to take a strategically longer term view about what you do with your Tau. In terms of the current price right now, I think it's a gift. Like I said, this should be an asset that would have been trading around $1,000 at the base case to where it is right now. So what's happening with Tau? So we know the halving is here. Of course, the supply shock is coming, and the Tau halving rewards will go down from 7,200 to 3,600 per Tau. Now, we've already talked about this. I've talked about this previously. I did another previous video to this, but it's kind of important to actually understand the difference between the halving of Bitcoin and the halving of Tau. Okay, Tau has daily emissions as opposed to Bitcoin's 4-year halving cycle, where they halve the mining rewards every 4 years. Bittensor is also the same, but also this also plays to the fact that these are daily emissions, in my opinion. And the flip side is, I mean, Grayscale have been really, really backing this. And of course, Bittensor halving, is it a Tau rocket fuel or a gimmick? With the supply cut taking place on the 14th of December, with the emissions being slashed, as we talked about, post-halving inspiration for like BTC style rally, of course, limited cap supply. So this has really captivated the market in terms of the Tau halving, and how Grayscale obviously have now fully gone into the Tau back. And of course, Barry Silbert is pushing the project, and Grayscale customers have access to the Tau ETF. And of course, it says here right now 9.95. So we are floating, of course, to the original level to trigger the halving, which is around 10.45 million, of course. And this is the leader in the AI category, in my opinion, having often led to sell the news events. So this is what you need to know. Most halvings are sell the news events. And if that's the case with Tau as well, then you are lucky enough, in my opinion, because it's going to marinate over time. So just always remember, sell the news. And of course, when the market dips will come, the market's already under stress due to liquidity. And, the adjusted supply does eventually reflect on price, but it does take some time to do so. Like I said, this asset should have had the rally into the halving and the halving should have been a major catalyst to put the price up even more. So just for those of you who don't actually know what this is, it's a decentralized marketplace. So in the simplest form, think of Tau as a peer-to-peer intelligence market, and Bittensor enables AI models to create and share value across a global open access network. And the idea here is, at some point, you know, the Tau price will reflect the Tau, in my opinion, the quality of project that Tau is. And that is something you need to watch out for, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, could this really grow? The risks are clearly there, but could it really become the crypto or the Nvidia of crypto? Because we know AI is a very much essential part of the future of crypto, in my opinion. AI and DePIN are the two sectors that I think, outside of RWA, that will create plenty of requirements for computational power. AI requires computational power. Of course, DePIN provides that in a decentralized manner. We've seen problems with Cloudflare. We've seen problems with AWS. Now, the blockchain, of course, relies on traditional internet infrastructure. But what I'm actually seeing here is, could this be something that goes beyond the speculative and has real world values? Now, specialized subnets, of course, are competitive marketplace for specific AI tasks. And you have to, the subnets are competing for the Tau rewards. So one of the reasons why Tau's market cap is just really, really growing and stable around that $2 billion area, you haven't seen it really dip below that. It's because of the fact that the demand for Tau is increased by the subnet demands. And of course, as the rewards get cut, the demand goes higher. And of course, Tau is the central currency. And you need Tau in order to actually even come to play with the subnet. So miners, validators, and consensus miners. So the miners provide the AI models. Validators score their quality, and rewards are distributed via the UMA consensus. Now, of course, Tau token, you can see here, powers the entire ecosystem, and it's used for staking. And that's a key, what I would probably say a key differentiation from Bitcoin. Of course, circulation is going to be diminishing, I think, pretty fast, in my opinion, as it comes into supply. This can also be staked. Now, of course, there are critical risks, as always. Decentralized AI revolution or centralized illusion, in my opinion, is what I was probably basing my research on here. And of course, the core chain is managed by the Open Tensor Foundation, with insiders controlling governance. Of course, you have to remember that Tau was actually a fair launch. 65% of Tau is held by insiders. Is Tau 70 to 90% of Tau is staked. And this is, regulatory uncertainty. Tau operates in a legal gray area, and of course faces increase in AML, KYC, and of course there's always going to be, of course, pros and cons, in my opinion, but that is the critical reality. Now, for me, in my opinion, it's decentralized enough for this to absolutely go ballistic and become mainstream. The case for positioning before December 14, I don't think we need to position before December 14. I think that misses the point. And in my opinion, if you see any price movements in this current market, always take profit, because we know that the price is going to be highly sensitive because of liquidity. But what I would say is, not taking profit of this, it is going to be more of a longer term accumulation for me. But if it does pump, if you get 100% pump, say current price into $500, I'd sell half of the bag and then buy in some more and just grow the bag that way. That's if you're specifically working. So Tau Network will have the emissions reduction, institutional adoption, and subnet expansion is driven by demand, supported by new investment vehicles like Grayscale's Tau Trust. We know Grayscales are, of course. And in addition to that, there are some mixed signals in terms of the potential for the pump, but that is to do with the wider market situation, strategic positioning, support resistance. Now, this is all short-termism. In my opinion, the long-term aspect of Tau for me is to have a look at the chart and say to yourself, if this chart has been quite linear, in my opinion, you know, you've had decent, you know, look, it pumps. It's pretty much very predictable. But the question is, how much will each Tau be worth in, say, I don't know, 5 years, 4 years from now? This seems a long way for crypto. Projects can die. But each Tau, based on demand, how much would it be worth? And in my opinion, I think this, at some point, it will reach a price of $50,000. You may think I'm going absolutely nuts here, but that is in the distant future. For now, I think each Tau is likely to go to anything between $1,500 this cycle. If we have this cycle anyway, if it comes back down, I'm still going to buy some more. But I think the ceiling here is between $1,500 to about $5,000 for Tau to top out this cycle. So you can take anything between like $2,000, $3,000. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with the overall projection here, but I would say something to you. If you are seeing an asset like this that is pretty much big enough in a market condition that is touted to be going to a bear market. I mean, Bitcoin right now is $89,000 and Ethereum is sitting around $3,000. One thing you need to understand is the capitulation, even if it comes, and when it comes, the effects are going to be very clear on the market. That's why you should have a position in USDT to always buy these assets. But my strategy with Tau has been just a weekly 10, 12 Taus. There is going to be a better liquidity situation in the market overall in the coming 2026, of course. And this for me is an asset, regardless of pros and cons, regardless of centralization, regardless of, you know, regulatory uncertainty, which is BS, because of course crypto now for the first time is traded in centralized US exchanges. Things are moving in the right direction in terms of regulation, but the vision of Tau for me is just beginning. Let me know what you think, and let me know where you stand with the overall supply shock. Are you accumulating? In my opinion, like I said, I have given you a price, but the price is based on a longer term projection. And this video, you can clip it at some day. You would look back at this video and say, damn, man, this thing was sitting around less than $200. Now, if we do come back, and of course, crypto is unbelievable these days, but if we do come back anything below sub $200, you know, just do what you do in DCA. Done, you know, again, people are going to talk you out of your bags, right? If you heard Ethereum a decade ago, if you heard Solana or Bitcoin all those years ago, you would understand exactly what the feeling is with Tau. And I'm not comparing it to those, but there are very few projects that you can take a long term on. Let me know your thoughts, guys. God bless you. I'll catch you on the next one.